each other to death. Why is it? Because you think about it, we're all going to the same trade fairs. We're seeing the same people. We're reading the same books. We're hiring people from our competitor. This marginal change is not enough. And so we're left in a situation in which 92.9% of companies do not exist for more than 20 years. This is a very unsuccessful business. It's a very unsuccessful sector. If you look at the amount, and every day the big companies are being merged, sold, undone, redone, et cetera, something's wrong. And so a lot of people say, well, you know, this is really a question of strategy and a question of looking forward and understanding, or it's a question of visionary leaders and so forth. But the fact is that the organization that we know, the management principles that we've been taught, and what we're still learning at business schools is all in the past. And I spent some years teaching MBAs and did some work at the Harvard Law School as a scholar in negotiation, and then taught MBAs at MIT. At MIT, I would sit with these kids and say, look, I understand perfectly that you're here, you're also pre-selected to be here. You've chosen to be that kind of person that is going to fight and be at the top and make more money and so forth. And what I wanted to debate with you here in this class is not leadership, is not management. What I wanted to talk about is your impending midlife crisis. And what I want to know is the following. When you are 45 and you need a red sports car and you need to exchange your 45-year-old wife for two of 22, what have you done with this career as a whole? Because you've learned leadership, you've learned management, you've learned to apply, you've learned to read a budget, you've learned to put PowerPoints together. Are you sure that that's a career? Are you sure that that's what you want to do? And as we went through this, people start realizing at 26, at 28, that they hadn't thought this out to the end, of course, because they're going step by step. And in many respects, we're caught in this situation. And as one comedian said, it's, you know, that the problem with the rat race is that even if you win, you're still a rat. And this is a process that we put ourselves into. And the question is this the only way to run a business? Is this the only way to run an economy? Is this the only way to run the world? And today we realize that a lot of this is falling apart very quickly. Now, is it the economy that's falling apart, the US with the recession, the Europe this? Is it something that's a cycle that's going to come back? I think it's much deeper than that. It's the fact that we have set ourselves up for doing things with the impression and with the illusion of control. When you look at a one-year plan even, you look at a fiscal year plan, and you look at it in, let's say, 2 6-month periods or 2 semesters, for some strange reason, all the good things are going to happen in the second half. Isn't that right? So the first half is not very good, but October is going to be dramatic. So we say the following. How about if we did a 6-month budget? And people say, oh no, that's very uncomfortable because then we'll have to do something now. And so we started a 6-month rolling budget, and we've never had a full year budget in 30 years. So in 30 years, we've been running this on a 6-month basis. If you're looking at the next 6 months and you say, it looks like sales are going to drop 7%, please tell us it's going to drop 7%, and let's do a budget that says minus 7%. And let's see what we do with that. I don't know how many of you followed over the years the chess world and Garry Kasparov playing against the big IBM machine, which was the Deep Blue. When I was in high school, there was a little machine that did 4 moves a minute. And this was a small computer and so forth. Make a long story short, this went to 4, went to 10, went to 100, went to 1,000, went to 100,000 moves per minute. And at that point, Kasparov was playing the machine and beating it regularly. It then went to 500,000, went to 1 million moves a minute, and it had all of the grandmaster strategies and results in its memory. And in one final playoff there, Kasparov played the machine, and he won twice, he lost 3 times, tied once, and IBM quickly retired the machine. Now, when you think about it and you say, there's a machine there that can do 1 million calculations a minute, has all the grandmaster strategies there. The question to me is not who's going to win. The question is, how is it at all possible for a human to play a machine under those conditions? And to me, it seems that the only possible answer is that Kasparov has only one thing which the IBM machine does not, and that is intuition. All the rest the machine has. And so when we hire somebody, we just want the intuition part of it. We don't want the 1 million calculations of the possibility of that person being right. When you look at your life as a whole, and you think about how you distribute your life, you realize that you spend on average 23% of your life studying, 35% of your life retired, and the rest working. That's already not a very smart distribution. But then, if you take a graph and you say, I'm going to draw here a graph, think of age here, and you say, first I'm going to plot available income. And so available income is basically a bell curve, right? And then you say available time is basically a U, and health is this guy here. So when you have the money, you don't have the time to use it. When you finally have the time to use it, you have neither the money nor the health. This is how your life is planned out. And so you think about it and you say, is this the smartest that we, the humankind, we've been going at thinking now for thousands of years? This is what we came up with? So we said, well, let's create a program ourselves. We'll fix this. So we created a program called Retire a Little. And Retire a Little works like this. We say, you make a salary, you work theoretically 5 days a week, even though it's not, people work more than that, but so theoretically, 1 day of your time is worth 20% of your salary. And so they said, but we will sell you your Wednesday for 10% at a discount. So now you can buy back your Wednesday, and on Wednesday, you're going to do whatever you were going to do when you retire. So instead of mountain climbing at 82, you're going to do it next Wednesday. And you're going to go and try and play the violin, which I'm sure you're not going to be able to, this Wednesday. And you're going to paint, and people are going to say, oh, that's very interesting, very cute. Now, not when you retire. And what happens as a result of this is we say, first, we create a system whereby we have relief points. We're trying to deal with these wrong curves. And then we say, we've put together a consortium of 15 large companies, and we give you a voucher. And the voucher says, for this Wednesday you did not work. We will, when you retire, we will give you the right to work 2 half days a week until you die. Because by then you'll have a tremendous amount of wisdom which we need, but you will not have the stamina or the patience for all these long meetings and all these reports. We will buy just wisdom from you. And one of these companies will redeem your voucher from 60 to 92. And now we're dealing with that curve. The little seed I want to leave you with today, coming from Brazil and having a lot of things in common with yourselves, is that there must be a better way. There is a better way, and I hope you find some for yourself as well. Thank you very much.